Thank you so much for your time. I'm really looking forward to having this candid conversation with you. You are regarded as one of the young leaders of the real estate industry in India, and Ashiana is a reputed name. But how did it all start for Ashiana Homes?
See, Ashiana has been into the housing development space for more than 27 years now. Ashiana started in Patna in Bihar in the late 70s as one of the first companies which went into organized multi-storied housing construction. And since then we have been firmly positioned in the middle income housing space. We migrated and shifted our focus to Delhi NCR in early 90s and have been actively working in the middle income housing space in NCR for more than 2 decades now.
Would it be fair to say that you were one of the first startups in the real estate industry when there were very few private developers then?
I wouldn't call us ourselves by any standard the first ones, because the real estate industry has been there for a very long time and it's a huge industry.
Right.
But given in the place where we started, we were definitely the pioneers of that.
Right.
And even I recall that when we started to operate in NCR in early 90s, the number of recognized brands were so few that you could count them on fingers of your both hands.
Right. So what were the challenges at that point of time?
The biggest challenge that one faced at that point of time was the market size itself was limited, because we have to keep in mind that the fruits of liberalization had not fully manifested in the way we see them now. So the employment market was fairly relatively small. So the salaried class, their buying ability was smaller as compared to now. At that point of time, the market, the buying was largely done by self-employed and business people and tradespeople and government employees. There were very little buying coming from private sector service people, which has changed dramatically now. It's completely reversed.
Right.
And the big change has happened in terms of the mortgage facility and the mortgage rates. Neither the bank funding was so easily available for the home buyer in early 90s. And even if it was, the rates used to be in the vicinity of 17 to 18%.
Correct.
That I think has been the dramatic change which has led to the expanding of this particular industry.
So what was the brand promise that Ashiana had? I mean, growing from your roots in Patna, then migrating to NCR, and then becoming a big brand that you are today. So what has been your brand promise? How is it that you've been able to have such a brand loyalty for Ashiana?
Our brand promise, or as we like to call it in our company as DNA of Ashiana, has always hovered around 3 key points. First of all is quality of construction. Second is safety of investment. And third is integrity of commitment.
Right.
And what we mean by this is that all our projects are very well thought out at the design stage. All specifications are well thought through. There's no afterthoughts about that you've offered something in the marketing phase and then subsequently you are having an afterthought and you're changing it. Change may happen, but that may happen only for an upgradation, not otherwise.
Right.
Having been an engineering driven company, see, Ashiana was founded by my father, Mr. R.K. Modi, who himself is a civil engineer from BITS Pilani.
Right.
So having that strength at the foundation of the company, where every project is thoroughly designed from an engineering point of view, there's a lot of emphasis on design and the right engineering practice in our company, which ensures that there is a quality of construction.
Right.
Execution has been at the heart of our entire operation. We pay too much premium, a very high premium on execution abilities. So unlike some real estate companies where there would be a tremendous premium on sales, I mean, all functions are important, don't take it otherwise, but we have a very, very high premium on execution. The people who have got execution abilities have a higher regards, are regarded very well in our organization. So we have a very keen focus on execution to ensure that quality of product is delivered. Second, I spoke about the safety of investment. Even before the laws would made it mandatory to have cash flows in a designated bank account, etc. Since I remember, we have always had separate bank accounts for separate projects.
Okay.
So the cash flows of every project is very visibly maintained in designated separate bank accounts. Trial balance of every project is prepared on a monthly basis. We have really kept ourselves away from fooling around with the advances of our home buyers, or being very cowboyish with it and leveraging it too much to expand. So though it leads to slower expansion and slower growth, but it brings to you the satisfaction that you end up delivering the projects on time. Because if projects are being sold well, then there is no reason why it can't be delivered on time, as long as cash flows have not been diverted.
Right. So you've got a very solid foundation for Ashiana, which I guess is what is making you have such a brand loyalty for your brand. But what we are seeing in the market today is there is a very clear differentiation between boys and men. Those who are delivering are getting, let's say, funds from private equity and others, and those who are not are not. Is that the right way for the industry to move forward?
Yes, and thank God for that, because there is a very dire need for the consumer to understand a brand in real estate, and it has always surprised me that the same consumer, if she or he goes to buy a garment in the market, they would rather pay 700 rupees for a shirt or a t-shirt which is branded versus a 400 rupees for something which is coming with no brand. But when it comes to buying the singularly most important asset in their life, a lot of them get guided just by discounts and cheap marketing tactics, because you're not going to buy a house because you're getting a TV with it, right?
Absolutely right. Yeah.
So your decisions cannot get guided by discounting.
Correct.
You are investing your life's saving and tying maybe 20 years of your future earnings to that decision.
Correct.
It should not be taken lightly. And today, definitely, because the market has gone through a very tough phase and continues to do so, we are seeing that buyers are returning to what they would consider as a safer brands.
Correct.
Safety is being given a premium, which is very important. So yes, that's the right way to go forward. Only those brands will survive which have the ability to execute their projects, to deliver on their commitments to their buyers, and those who have managed to sell but have paid very little attention to be able to deliver the product in time will have to suffer the consequences.
I mean, the consumer in today's market is so very well informed. There's so many websites which give you information, and uninformed also, because there is so much noise in the data that is available. Have you invested very heavily on technology, or is it that you have a certain brand name and therefore your marketing spends are so much less?
See, consumer of course is very aware today, because what has happened, and we all are a daily user of that, is that there has been a complete democratization of information in our country.
Correct.
So the same consumer would suffer in silence and ignominy earlier, but today she can get onto a Google group, go onto a blog, find 10 things about the developer, or vent her anger, frustration about a developer openly, and soon that becomes a voice. While I do agree that there is some bit of downside to it as well, because there are elements who misuse this against a developer as well. But this phenomena, which cannot be changed, it's an irreversible process, has brought the voice of consumer that much stronger today. So you have to pay attention to what they are saying. You have to pay attention to what you're promising to give them, and you better give them on time and as you have promised. Otherwise, today they have a voice, because they can easily get together. So there's no lone voice. Suddenly you've got 500 or 700,000 people, talking the same thing, and that becomes a pressure. Coming to your second part of your question, yes, technology is very, very imperative. The way we see today, our entire focus of marketing is shifting towards the digital world. What probably 3 years back was more like a tokenism, ki okay, let's be present on a social media, or let's be present on this, has completely changed. Now it's imperative. I mean, the way we are looking at it is that the maximum amount of leads which are generated in terms
Right.
of sales are
Right.
coming out of direct one-to-one connect.
Right.
And this is a beautiful medium because
Correct.
you can actually sharpen your focus to the last filter point that you can imagine to
Right.
reach to the person you want to reach to.
Right.
So digital world has definitely helped, and
Right.
therefore spends on technology are a
Right.
must now.
Right. I mean, no interview is ever complete without us asking you about how do you see the market, especially when do you see it turning around? I mean, everyone thought new government, it'll turn around. New budget, it'll turn around. And now 2016. When do you see it turning around?
Well, difficult to really answer that, when do I see it turning around, but
Yeah.
I can say that definitely the pain has been there in the market for last 2.5 years, maybe even a little longer. But given the amount of turmoil which is there in the global economy,
Right.
I would thank our stars that India is still doing much better than most of the world. And what our finance minister or the RBI governor talks about, that if we're looking at still continuing at a 7% GDP growth also, I think we should be in a fine footing. The problem is with those projects or those developers who are extremely over leveraged. Otherwise, I don't see a dire crisis over here. From the buyer's point of view, I think it's a brilliant time to buy because rate of interest are now in single digit, and developers are offering never before kind of payment options, etc. They are bending over backwards to please the consumer. I haven't seen in my career a better buying opportunity than now, and I hope that the consumers will take advantage of this.
I mean, so real estate is a serious profession. So what is your advice to all those young children who are young professionals who are coming to our industry? What would your advice be for them?
Well, my only advice to any new entrepreneur or young entrepreneur in real estate would be that they must treat this profession with the same seriousness and dignity as they would treat any other profession. If they wish to get that respect from the society, then they must treat themselves with the same amount of respect and dignity. They must not violate the trust placed in them by the consumer, and focus on execution of their projects more than anything else.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. It
You're
was an
most
absolute pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure is mine.
Thank you. Thank you.